The last 20 years have seen Johnny Depp turning it on in front of the camera and Tim Burton calling the shots behind it no less than 7 times. Alice in Wonderland marks the latest of these collaborations. So, on the day of the world premiere, the two of them and the rest of the cast got together to pontificate over how they continue to cook up such an amazing cinematic chemistry.
I think Johnny and Tim are like big kids, really. And they're also really good friends. And there's a great sense of fun, you know, when they're together. There's a lot of laughter. And they're like kids with a dressing-up box or kind of in a playroom, having fun, albeit on an amazing budget. And it's very infectious, and everybody feels a part of a kind of family atmosphere on the set of one of their films, I guess.
I remember seeing Edward Scissorhands. I really remember, well, the whole movie and how wonderful a performance it was. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't think it was a wonderful performance. I just thought, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. That guy's doing that. And I really believed that Johnny was Edward Scissorhands. You know, I didn't really understand that it was an actor playing him. But I just remember the scene where Winona Ryder, you know, he's cutting an ice sculpture for her. And she's, you know, and she's kind of in the snow and she looks like an angel and they're having that moment and then it's broken and he slices her hand by accident. I just remember being really moved by that movie and loving the world and kind of, you know, thinking, I remember the way he shot Suburbia, thinking, you know, my town doesn't look exactly like that, but that reminds me of my town somehow and towns that I've seen, and I don't know, I just connected to it.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. You go ahead and look. You have every reason to be excited.
Tim is such an unbelievable visual director, and so to actually get someone like him with such a strong visual imagination to interpret these words, I think is pretty unique and exciting collaboration.
To see them working together was incredible. They have such a deep friendship and deep history together, and to see the way that they work, they have a real push-pull relationship, and they kind of complement each other. Yeah, it was really cool. They speak their own language on set, and they're so wonderful, so it was fun.
They just have a kind of a tremendous man love for each other. Platonic man love. Nothing untoward, platonic.
I met Johnny for Edward Scissorhands, and I mean, I never saw the TV show that he had done, but, you know, I knew about him and stuff, and so, you know, I just met him, and the whole basis of that was based on the fact that he just seemed really right, and he was not how he's perceived as a sort of poster, you know, this poster boy, whatever, you know, a lot more depth, a lot more stuff going on inside, and just felt an immediate connection, and, you know, it just went from there. It's been something new and different and amazing each time.
I was aware of Tim from some of his earliest stuff, like, you know, like Frankenweenie and Vincent.
Yeah.
And then certainly, you know, on to Pee-wee.
You were the only, you must have been the only one that's seen those.
Pee-wee, and then, you know, certainly, you know, Beetlejuice and Batman and everything.
What are you? I'm Batman.
So I was a huge fan, a great admirer for a number of years there before we got to work together.
Get those wonderful toys.
When I actually initially canceled, I was going to try and cancel the meeting with Tim for Edward Scissorhands because I was convinced that he wouldn't cast me in the role. I just thought it was a waste, that he wouldn't see me for the part.
I'll be darned.
Because everybody, like, all these really big Hollywood, you know, stars wanted to do the role, and I just thought, well, this will never work. But somehow, luckily, you know, it did.
It was right, you know, it was the right you know, that's what it's always with, you know, with John, it's like, especially over the years, it's like, well, you don't work together just to work together. It's like, it's always been important. It's like, you know, the right part, the right thing, and, you know, his interest, you know, and all of that sort of thing goes into to working.
Oh, my. I can see that I've disturbed you. How stupid of me. I'll just be going now.
Don't go.
What happened to you?
I'm not finished.
I like being on the set kind of with the actors and stuff, and this was hard for me because there wasn't a lot of sets, and it was a very abstract kind of shoot. I mean, it was a lot of pieces put together, so, and also the shots don't materialize till near the end, and so it was really kind of a backwards filmmaking process to me, which I was a bit disturbed about. But that's the thing, I mean, because you've seen the actors kind of making these things, that's the energy, you know, that's the people, they're the ones kind of making it and presenting it all, so I get a lot of energy about that process.
It's you.
No, it's not. McTwist brought us the wrong Alice.
It's the wrong Alice? You're absolutely Alice. I'd know you anywhere. I'd know him anywhere.
It's pretty abstract, you know. It's kind of, you know, you start talking about, you know, I mean, you know, how, you know, is the Mad Hatter, but how nuts is he? Should he be that kind of, you know, just a bouncing rubber ball all over the place, and you know, and not, and, or should he have more depth to him? Should he have, you know, what's his, where's his background? Is there damage? Is there trauma? Is there, you know, so we just kind of investigate all those sort of things.
You're terribly late, you know. Naughty.
Well, funny enough, it wasn't so much the book as it was, you know, because I grew up in Burbank, and it wasn't really part of the culture of the books the way they are here and elsewhere. So I knew more about it from other pop culture references, you know, music, songs, other artists, illustrators, writers, incorporating the imagery into their work. And you realize that it's a very powerful, what Lewis Carroll created is so strong, it sort of remains with us. So the idea of kind of, you know, and all these other versions that have been made, none of them really seemed, I never really liked. So the idea was to try to take those characters, put them in a new sort of framework, and try to do them the way we felt about those characters.
Time can be funny in dreams.
Yes, of course, but now you're back, you see, and we need to get on to the Frabjous Day.
Frabjous Day!
I'm investigating things that begin with the letter M. Have you any idea why a raven is like a writing desk?
It's definitely, yeah, the process itself, the collaborations, you know, Tim on this, you know, this collaboration is fantastic, and
you know, the other crew, it's just, it's like, that's your family, you know, that's the people making the movie, and it's, that's it.
Hold on tightly.
This is impossible.